I had a dream many nights that I saw all these kids in this indoor football complex. And I saw all their parents and everybody, and they were all raising their hands in praise and worship. I'm not somebody that dreams a whole lot, and I usually don't remember them if I do dream, but for some reason I was having a recurring dream. I was kind of embarrassed to talk about it, and one night I woke up about 3:30 in the morning, and I looked over at Natalie, and she was wide awake. And I said, "What are you doing?" She goes, "What are you doing awake?" I told her, I had a dream, and she said, "Well, what was the dream about?" And so I explained to her about the boys and their parents in an indoor football complex on an AstroTurf field, raising their hands, in worship to Christ. And she said, "Well, that's funny, I just had the same dream." The following Sunday at church, I was sweating, had sweat from head to toe, and couldn't pay attention to the preacher. Just ask God, "What is it you're wanting me to do? I don't know that I'm the guy that you want for this job. I'm good at business. I used to be really good at, having fun. I'm not somebody that's studied the Bible the way it needs to be studied to start teaching it to kids. And I feel like you're wanting me to do that. So if you're wanting me to do that, I need a sign right now." I had just taken my son's basketball team to see a movie called Facing the Giants 2 weeks before at his birthday party. And at that very moment in church, when I gave God the ultimatum and said, "I need to know what it is you're wanting me to do," the entire congregation went black. They dropped the lights, they dropped 2 movie screens, and there was a excerpt from the movie Facing the Giants shown on the overhead projector. And so I tell people those are my 2 signs from God that we were supposed to start working with young boys. The Bible says when 2 or more of us come together in His name, I originally thought that God was gonna just, let us start doing a Bible study, and then boom, we were gonna have this indoor football practice facility with, thousands of people that were involved. And there was a transition period, for us to understand what He was trying to accomplish, which the end goal is, teach each child about Jesus and how Jesus can change your life. And those children are going to take that into their homes, and their homes are going to be changed because of that.
I know that there are 8 billion people on this planet, and God picked Jeff and I to do this. So I know that we're doing what we're called to do. Some days I wonder how we're going to do that and how we can continue to do that. And I just feel honored that God chose us to be His hands and feet and to do this task. And I hope when I get to heaven, He looks at us and says, "Well done, my faithful servant. You did what I asked you to do."
Every year we see so many of the boys pray the prayer of salvation. As a good example, last summer we had over 70 children get baptized. And the more exciting part about that was that some of their parents actually chose to be baptized with them. As the children are sharing their gift of salvation with their parents and bringing that household into a saving relationship, wherever that house is, the sharing is happening within that neighborhood. It's like a ripple effect. The neighborhood will share it with the community with the city, and then it continues to expand, and that's the most exciting part about the ministry.
Then when these young men start growing up and maturing and making decisions and making better decisions than their fathers did, it's going to impact everything. It just takes one drop in the pond to ripple through the whole thing.
We see immediate impact with the funding that we receive through our students and our boys, that their grades automatically come up, their attitudes improve, their focus at school improves, and these are the short-term things that we see that happen pretty quickly. But the long-term value of your money is going to be in 20 years when these kids are grown and have families of their own and are no longer absentee fathers, but fathers that are active on a daily basis and providing a role model for their children that he did not have before him. The current state of our community, we are in need of a new prison, and the cost for that will be close to $24 million. With Power Cross's current budget, we could operate for nearly 40 years on $24 million. And what hurts my heart the most about it is the way they determine whether or not a new prison is needed. They'll look at the 3rd through 5th grade boys, and they'll look at those kids and see which ones have lacked home support, which have extended absences, and that seem to just not really perform well in school, and they'll go ahead and predetermine that future. And they'll state that those kids are the ones that are going to need a spot in a new prison one day. And that's hard because they're looking at my boys. They're determining where they're going to go based on where they've came from. But what they don't know is that through Power Cross, we've been blessed to show them a different route. They have a new foundation in their life, and instead of being a prisoner there, they're going to be the guys that help to build that facility. They'll be the architects and the engineers. They'll be a priest who brings the word of Christ there.
When I see young men on the streets, little kids out getting in trouble, I think they need Power Cross, need something like this, if not this. It's just amazing what they're doing. A lot of kids I don't think will still be here without it.
Power Cross has affected my walk with Christ a lot. I don't even know what my relationship with Jesus would be if I hadn't came here. I feel like I'm so much tighter with God now. I know things about the Bible. I know what I'm supposed to do. The main things I take away from Power Cross is how to be a good, godly man, a father to your children. All the athletic things are just a bonus.
My family, like before Power Cross, it was hectic. You know, nobody paid attention to me. My mom would go to work. I barely see her when I get home. You know, I was mean to my grandma. You know, I didn't really care if I lived or died. So it was hard for me. My dad, I haven't seen him since I was 3 years old. And that's when he left me. And if he'd see the man I am today, he wouldn't have left. I was headed to probably a high school dropout, you know. I wouldn't be doing good in middle school. I wouldn't be doing the sports period. My grades, ooh. From becoming a D, I think it's a D, C, and an F student to become all A's and B's. I was on honor roll. My grades have gone up substantially. You know, I love it.
Christ in my life has changed so much. Changed me, changed my mom, changed the people I hang around, changed the people I really let into my life. And he's always been there. I know we all have our low times, and when I have mine, I know he's there to where I don't have to go anywhere else. I know I can get on my knees and pray, and he's right there, and he'll answer me. And it might not be the way I want it to, but it's a way that I know he's trying to teach me something.
If I didn't have Power Cross, then I wouldn't have known what baseball or football was, basketball. I wouldn't have known what Christ was either. I just wouldn't have known anything. Well, in my future, I've been looking forward to being able to go play in the MLB one day, be a big star, and then showing people that I believe in Jesus Christ, and just helping out people, and maybe starting a charity one day.
If anyone has ever known my life, it hasn't been easy, but it has been because of my own choices. But Power Cross has just led me on a different path, and I'm so thankful for that, because now I feel like a fantastic parent, a person who contributes to the community, and someone who is well on her way to walking a fantastic path with Jesus Christ.
There's a lot of things that go into the whole life change that we're trying to make in our boys, but each one of those things costs money to fix.
The funding is needed from everything from the 400 meals a week that we serve that I do my best to budget, but it's very hard to feed those kids that much every single day. To the gas, to bus the kids for Bible study, to notebooks for school, to backpacks for shoes, for cleats. And then there's bigger things like the equipment that the kids need to train with, the tutors that we need for pre-calculus and things that are way past me and Jeff, the college visits. As they get older, we've lost some of the kids because we didn't have enough funding to expand our program to keep them here. We want you to know that Power Cross is not a handout to every kid that walks through, that they earn what they are provided. The Bible teaches us that whom is given much, much is expected in return, and the kids that we work with are highly disciplined. It's highly focus-oriented. The kids have huge expectations placed on them in their schoolwork, and their behavior, and their language, and their attitude, and they are excited to be able to see the improvements and get the benefit that they get back and the rewards they get from following through with what's asked of them. So we want you to know that you're investing in shaping a life and not just providing a fun afternoon of baseball, but in actually teaching fundamentals that they can carry through their entire life and then hand back down to the kids below them and to their children one day. Without your support, this ministry stops. The effect on our community stops. The kids that we've impacted from 7 to 12 are lost back to the world because we can no longer draw them in and compete with that lifestyle. If we have your funding and your belief and your investment in these children's futures, then we can reshape the way they think, we can redirect the course that they're on, and we can see immediate impact in the benefit of our community.